Oh my God, I keep moving this around. You know, I'm gonna end up ripping this. Hello, my friends, Bella Maldonado here, and today we are going to be converting this bag into something a little more tarot-y. And the reason why I say that is because I wanted to have a cute little bag that I can travel around with, that I can put my Morgan-Greer tarot deck. And this box has been around for a while. It's actually a deck that my husband gave to me that he's had for years, dare I say decades. And I just wanted to have an extra little place that I can put it safely so it doesn't get even more ruined. And I found this cute little backpack at a yard sale. I got it for $5. And I thought this would be perfect so I could take my deck and put it inside and carry it around. But I wanted something here to look like it was meant for tarot. So what my idea was, I was thinking of maybe taking one of the cards from the Morgan-Greer deck and using one of those images to put on the bag. So these are the backs, but the fronts these are what the cards look like. And I've narrowed it down, I think, to these. Yeah, these are the ones that I was thinking about. And I was just undecided. I didn't know which one to pick. And, you know, the first one that I looked at, I was like, well, okay, this is ubiquitous. I mean, Three of Swords, everybody recognizes this as a tarot card, but it's kind of everywhere. You know, people have tattoos of it, people have t-shirts of it. So I wanted to do something a little more interesting, a little more unique than the Three of Swords. So put that to the side. And then we have the Nine of Coins, but I don't think people would easily recognize this as a tarot card. I mean, yeah, you have the pentacles as a necklace, but I don't think it's as obvious. I want it to be obvious to the general public. So I put that one down. What else? We've got the Devil card, which I thought was really cool looking, but I didn't want people stopping me in the street telling me I was a devil worshiper, yada, yada, yada. So I put that to the side. All right, so we're down to these three. The Nine of Cups, it's cute. You know, I like the color palette, but again, similar to the Nine of Coins, I don't know if it would be obvious to people that this was a tarot card. So I put that to the side. And then I was down to the High Priestess and Two of Swords. Now, while the High Priestess is pretty cool, I think I wanted the image to be a little close up, which leads me to the Two of Swords. And this is the picture that I chose, because the Two of Swords, I think it's still pretty obvious. I think people know this as a tarot card, and I like that it's close up, so, you know, it's got a little more impact. So I'm going with the Two of Swords. So the first thing that I did was I just printed out the image on my Inkjet printer and cut it out to the size that I needed just to see how it would look. So this gives me a general idea, and I think that looks pretty neat, but I'm not going to use this paper because it's too thick and the edge of the paper is not going to blend in really nicely with the edges of the bag. So I tried to think of a material that would work, that would be thinner than this. So I decided on tissue paper. So I printed the image on tissue paper. What? How did she do that, you ask? Well, yes, you can print on tissue paper using your Inkjet printer. And I'm not going to show you the process in this video, but if you want to know how to do this, you can check the info card over here. There is a video where I show you how to print on tissue paper for a different project, which is how to put images on candles. And it's the same process. So if you want to check that out, you can take a look at that after this video and learn how to do it. Okay, so I think I think this kind of material will work because I've seen other people decoupage using napkins, and this is similar to a napkin, so let's see if it works. Okay, so first I'm going to use some gesso, and this is just to kind of prime the area and make it all white, because if I just stick this on, you can kind of see through, you can see the stars and see through some of the image. You know, you can see some stuff over here. So I don't want to be able to see any of this image. So I'm going to take some of this gesso and we're just going to paint it all white. So I'm going to pour some of this in here. Okay. And then I'm going to use kind of a small brush, just so that I can get as close as possible to the edge without getting onto the other side. So I'm gonna just dip my brush in here and then start working along the edge as close as I can. And then I'll probably get a bigger brush just to get the middle part. But if we can get these edges in first, we'll have a better start here. I'm going to use my bigger brush just to get in the middle and not waste so much time with that teeny tiny brush. I think that should be enough coverage, although you can still see some of the image underneath. So maybe I'll just let this dry and then maybe give it one more coat. I just applied my blow dryer to all of this for about 2 minutes and it's nice and dry. So now we are going to apply coat number 2 of our gesso. Okay, looks like I got a little bit on the edge. So I'm going to see if I can take this Q-tip and wipe some of that off. And put a little bit of water on it too, to see if that would help. Am I just smearing that everywhere? I mean, if it doesn't come off, it's not the end of the world. So we have all the sides, and there's some that I got over there too. Let's see, are we able to get rid of some of that, or is it already dried off? Might be able to get some of it. I could have used masking tape, but I'm just too lazy for that. So, of course, this may end up being more work, but I don't know, like the masking tape, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get those rounded corners as well. But again, I'm not looking for perfection. This is just a fun little crafting project, and if it's not perfect, that is okay. I keep saying that as I try to make it perfect. Okay, so I got another Q-tip and I actually did dip it in some water, and you can still see that. It's so funny because I don't even see that in real life. I only see it on the camera. All right, I need to do better. I need to do better. Well, my friends, it's still not coming off, so note to self, don't be lazy, use the masking tape. And you know, I'm just gonna go with my father-in-law's motto. You know, it's good enough considering who it's for. This still needs to dry off just a little bit, so I'm gonna apply the blow dryer to this for another 2 minutes. And then, once we are done with that, we are going to put some Mod Podge and stick on our tissue paper. Okay, it's dry now. So I'm going to apply some Mod Podge So this is the kind that I have. It's the Mod Podge matte. And I'm gonna use these guys. I saw a YouTuber who is working with mixed media and using these silicone brushes for Mod Podge. And what's great about the silicone is that the Mod Podge won't stick because Mod Podge is an adhesive. And when you're using brushes to apply it, if you don't rinse it off right away, you know, your bristles get all messed up, but this is silicone and the glue can just peel right off. So I don't know, this is the first time I'm using these. Let's see if they work. So I'm gonna just grab this here and I'm trying to figure out what would be the easiest, because sometimes when I have projects, I just dump the Mod Podge right onto the canvas or to the page. So should we do that with this, or should we pour it in something separate? I don't know. Let's see. What should we do? Okay. I'm just gonna pour it on. I'm gonna pour it on direct. All right, here we go. It's a little thick, so hopefully my Mod Podge isn't old. No, it's good. It's applying nice and smoothly. Okay, I was concerned. Okay, so once I apply this, I'm gonna put the tissue paper on. Oh, you know what I should have done first? Silly me. I should have cut the tissue paper first and then applied the Mod Podge, but it's okay. If we can cut it fast, the Mod Podge might still be liquid enough to still work. I'll make sure that I get some Mod Podge on the edges here and make sure I don't miss any spots, because I want this to be glued to the edge as close as possible. Let's grab some from here and then apply it along the edge here. And I want to do this again fairly quickly before this dries up. Although, you know, it takes a while for Mod Podge to dry up completely. So I am going to grab some scissors and cut this out. Cut this out as quickly as possible, just to make it easier to attach to the bag so that we're not getting Mod Podge everywhere. And this cutout doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to be cutting it again to the right shape. But this is just to initially get it glued onto the bag. I want to get this Roman numeral 2 kind of centered and maybe like there, because I still want enough tissue paper so that we have something to cut. All right, are we in a good place here? Let's see, do we need to move this over a smidge? All right, so I'm just gonna glue this down and smooth it out. Okay, I wish I could have, can I move it over without ripping it? I'm nervous. Okay, because there is a little bit of a white edge there that I'm not loving. I could have moved that over, but I don't know, can I, do you think? Yeah, let's do it. Let's move it over just a smidge. That's what's so great about the Mod Podge, is that you can still move and play around with things in case you put it down wrong the first time. Let's see, is that good enough? You know what? It's gonna be good enough considering who it's for. That's gonna be our motto today. And now I gotta slide this down. I mean, I can get rid of the Roman numeral 2. It doesn't have to be there. Oh my God, I keep moving this around. You know, I'm gonna end up ripping this. I'm gonna end up ripping this so badly. We can do this. I mean, this is the first time I'm experimenting with this. I have never done this before. So bear with me. We are learning together. All right, I think that's where we're gonna put it. And we're definitely going to coat the top of this with some Mod Podge as well. So let me just kind of get this in the corners and let me apply some more. All right, I'm just gonna put a little bit in here. I'm gonna put it in the corner so I don't get my gesso confused with my Mod Podge. Okay, that's good enough there. So because we've been kind of taking this off and putting it on, I'm just gonna put a little bit more there. And then once this is all smoothed out, I'm going to let it dry for a little bit so that I can cut off the parts that are sticking out. And then we're gonna apply another layer of Mod Podge on top just to seal everything in. Okay, so now that this is dry, because I've applied my hair dryer to it again for 2 minutes, I'm just gonna now cut off the edges. So I'm gonna cut this off right here. We're gonna trim these guys off. Now I should have moved this over a little more this way, but you know, whatever. Live and learn. All right, so I'm gonna take this from the other side so I can see what I'm cutting off. Okay. Then we can cut this part off. And then what we're gonna do is when we put the Mod Podge on top, we're gonna kind of tuck those edges into the seam. Okay, what I think I'm gonna do now is just like push the edge of the tissue paper into the seam with my nail as best as I can. And then I'm going to apply the Mod Podge just to seal it in there. You know what? I'm just gonna do what I did before and just pour a little bit of the Mod Podge directly onto the bag. There we go. Okay, that should be good. And I'm gonna just smear it on. All right, and then just pick this up and see if I can bring this into the edges to kind of seal them down there. I'm not too concerned if it goes off the seam a little bit because it's gonna dry clear. But I wanna make sure it gets into those seams so that we don't have anything falling out later. Okay, so we've let this first layer of Mod Podge dry, and now we need to add the second layer. So let me just put a little bit, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my same routine. I keep saying I'm gonna put it in here, but I think I'm just gonna dump it on here again. All right. And I don't know if you were able to see it earlier, but I love the streaks that it left on the surface because it kind of gave it a really cool texture. And I don't know, some people may not like that, but I think it looks really cool. All right, so I'm just gonna go in here again just to make sure that the edges are nice and sealed. I'm kind of wondering if using a smaller, thinner brush would have been good just to get in the edges, but you know, we'll see. Again, this is the first time I'm doing decoupage on a purse. So this is all experimental, my friends. So here, my friends, is the final product. It still has some drying to do. You can still see some of the Mod Podge needs to dry there. But it's mostly done. This is the final product. You know, not bad, not bad. Would I sell this on Etsy? No. But would I sport this out in public? Hell yeah, it's super cute. I love the way it came out. You know, again, this is my first one, so there's lots of room for improvement, but you know, not bad for a first try. I'm looking forward to making some more. And if this inspires you to customize your bags from just a plain old bag into a tarot-licious bag, hit that like button. I'd like to know if, you know, you found some use out of this. And if you want to see more, definitely hit that subscribe button. Bye for now.